The John Lebang Show has been known to make people laugh, sing, think, scream, throw things in rage, and generally lose their minds. Listener discretion is advised.
Worldwide and out to the greater universe, you're listening to the John Lebang Show.
Greetings, Earthlings. Welcome to the John Lebang Show. I'm your host, John Lebang. If you didn't know, if you're tuning in for the very first time, welcome. I appreciate you stopping in. Been gone for, a few months as far as the show is concerned because I was busy doing the Banger Music Awards. If you did not check that out, please go to our website, www.jlebang.com. Now, it's funny because it's really no coincidence that I was scheduled to return. See, my timing is pretty amazing, if you ask me. You know, impeachment is revving back up. Perfectly timed with my return because obviously they didn't have anything better to do until now. And I'm oozing with anticipation because we will have the debates, the slanted news coverage, the skinny on everything. It should make for good TV drama. And while most will be distracted by the made-for-TV special, thousands are protesting in favor of the Second Amendment. And if you haven't heard about the governor over there in Virginia, they're proposing to take away the guns from the people. And in preparation for this protest, he thought it would be a good idea to declare a state of emergency. And his reasoning for this, claiming the militia and hate groups are coming in from other states and they're going to pose some kind of threat to the people protesting or something. That's always their excuse, that it's going to be somebody else doing it, right-wingers. But knowing the Dems like I do, and I know them very well, Ralph Northam is only using that as an excuse. See, you gin up some stuff. The state of emergency, it allows him to do roadblocks, to search, detain anyone they feel they need. It also gives them reasons to arrest people who may be carrying guns, may be coming in from other states. If you're coming in from another state, don't do it. That's my opinion. Now, if anything unfortunate goes down, the Virginia government will have the moral high ground to deal with these perpetrators that they deem are in the wrong. Now they're looking for any provocative or perceived illegal actions, of course, to pass the blame on the right-wing groups that may be attending. Notice it's never a left-wing group that ever causes any problems. You have Antifa and other radical groups will be there to counter-protest. Yet if the violence occurs, it will be blamed on the pro-Second Amendment protesters and whoever else is deemed on their side of the protest line. And all they need is just one agent provocateur. That's all they need to send this whole entire thing south, giving the governor a reason to have people arrested. Now the cops will be put in the middle of all this once again, meaning they'll have to enforce the law, which means no guns are allowed because the governor just passed a proclamation saying that you can't have guns on the government property. Hagel would be proud of this scenario. You see, you're trying to ban guns, and you know people will oppose it and protest, allowing opposition groups to attend and maybe cause violence. And the gun owners will be blamed for any violence that happens. They're going to deem them right-wingers, Nazis, whatever. And that'll allow the government of Virginia to push the legislation through to ban those guns. And where is the Trumpster in all of this? I mean, he's made a couple of tweets, but he should be doing speeches on this, helping the people who are trying to show their Second Amendment rights and who are being infringed by the government. But all he's got are a couple of tweets. That's the best the Trumpster has for them. I thought he was a pro-gun guy. Shouldn't he be on the forefront of this, telling the Virginia governor and the legislation to back off on that? Now, while he's busy doing trade deals and dealing with impeachment, these people's constitutional rights are being infringed upon by the Virginia government. Busy doing trade deals and dealing with impeachment, while the people's constitutional rights are being infringed upon in Virginia. He's too busy. And maybe that was the reason to keep him busy while they do this other sort of stuff. Now, don't fool yourself. There are plenty of other states watching what goes down inside of Virginia. You see, there are other left-leaning governors that would like to impose these kind of rules on their citizenship. Now, if something bad goes down there, it could be the first steps towards a civil war. Because people aren't going to allow their guns to be taken away. And if the government wants to do that, well, you know. And these people who elected Trump were just trying to get rid of corruption. And why people such as Pelosi, Clinton, Obama, Soros are still out there, I don't know. And this move by the Virginia legislature to ban firearms, it's just another step in that divide and conquer that they always seem to use against the American people. And let me ask you something. What good will these protests do? How often has the left caved to their opposition? I mean, look what's happened since Trump was elected. They've done everything possible to ignore the will of the people. And why was Trump sent up there? Well, that's what the problem is, isn't it? You see, you can't reason with people who want to see your kind wiped off the face of the earth. We're not people to them. Nope. We're a roadblock in their agenda. You can't reason with people who want to see you wiped off the face of the earth. As I repeat myself, we're not people to them. We are a roadblock in their agenda. Now, let's not forget that the Nazis took guns away from the Jews, or what they would have called unreliable persons. Now, who do you think the Virginia government thinks is unreliable? For that matter, who do the Dems think are unreliable? Well, it's Trump supporters and non-Democrats. So if you're unreliable, you're not part of their plan, they want to do something to get rid of you. And this whole thing down in Virginia could be very dangerous. Or nothing at all could happen. That's what I'm hoping for. But you never know. The police grid is pretty big down there for this protest. And, yep, the timing is very interesting as well. The day before the impeachment trial begins, what are the odds? What are the odds that the timing of all this is falling in line? Now, just imagine if something horrible happens. The news coverage, well, there are going to be more calls for Trump to be gone. And any of his supporters, because they're all bad people. But don't doubt me on this, ladies and gentlemen. Anything bad will be blamed on Trump and his supporters. Don't doubt me. Even though it was the Virginia government who is causing this reaction of the people to protest. You see, it's the simple Hegelian dialectic. Problem, reaction, solution. They want gun control, right? Well, they frame the narrative to cause the reaction. Then protests and counter-protests occur, driving the citizenry even further apart, splitting the country into this wider and ever-growing divide. Then, if some violence happens, they'll have the provocation, the reason to impose these new rules. Now, if cooler heads prevail, they still have the impeachment. And, of course, as we all know, it's not just Trump. It's not just Trump they want gone. They're not thrilled with you wanting the swamp being drained. Career politicians have a lot to lose. You see, they've been embedded in there. They've made a lot of money. And that is being threatened. And if Donald Trump is so corrupt, you left-wingers out there, if he's so corrupt that he must be impeached, how corrupt are the people who have been there inside the halls of government for decades? You see, if he's so corrupt that in 3 years he's really ruined government, can you imagine the people that have been there their whole lives, or a good portion of their lives? What they've done? And why do you think the establishment is so against Trump? You see, you sent him there to clean house. But it doesn't matter that you want that. They want him impeached. And from everything I can tell, there was no crime being committed by the president. Obstruction of Congress isn't obstruction of justice. I mean, if it was, why didn't the Obama administration face impeachment during the hearings for Benghazi or the IRS targeting of conservative group? They pleaded the fifth that whole time. So why wasn't that obstruction? Why wasn't that something that could have got the Obama administration impeached? And why, for that matter, is Biden getting a free pass? He admitted to quid pro quo in a video where he was at the Council of Foreign Relations. And why are so many of the people who watch the mainstream malpractice media repeating the lie that the Bidens and the Obamas and the Clintons all give out to us? Now, if you're against corruption, I can't imagine many people are for corruption except the corrupt. It's not Trump and his voters you should have a problem with, is it? Guns aren't the problem. Militia members aren't the problem. Pro-lifers aren't the problem. It's the systemic infection of power-hungry people who have spent a lifetime spreading their virus inside of our government. Now, the American people, whether you like it or not, sent Trump there to get rid of it all. And those people are not willing to leave. So, a whole lot of stuff has happened to try to prevent the cleaning of the swamp. And because that isn't occur, not only does Trump have to go, but so do you. Because you elected a person to go in there and do the job of cleaning out the government, and they don't want to go. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
Hey, Uncle Shady, where are they going? Hey, you, get back here. The John Lebang Show will be right back. Are you in need of commercial or residential window cleaning? Do you need your office cleaned? Maybe custodial work? How about some gutter cleaning? If you do, then call Pane in the Glass. For a beautiful shine that's crystal clear, call Pane in the Glass. You can find them on Facebook at Pain and the Glass.
Poker Face. Chapter 4. Once upon a beehive.
Don't kill him yet. I have to go to little boy's room. I'll be right back. Don't get lost. I want some of that money you got.
He's always got to pee.
Just like that one time we were on the road to see the border wall. I don't remember that.
Oh, you weren't there.
You were in the cryo chamber.
Oh. Hush up, Leroy. I'm telling this story. Now, once upon a time, we were out somewhere on the road there, and we got lost.
I think we're lost, Uncle Shady.
That's because we let Ali Dumbo take the wheel.
I knew you made a wrong turn at Albuquerque.
What? I did?
That's right, man.
If you knew we made the wrong turn, why did you say something, Goober?
Well, I don't like to butt in when someone else is driving, you know.
I hate you.
Oh, well, join the club. What do we do now?
Just pull over at the next gas station, and I'll find out where the hell we're at.
Oh, good, because I have to go very, very bad. There's one over there.
What? Right there, turn.
Oh, hang on. Zoom, zoom. Oh, man. Holy crap.
On the way all up in my pants. You suck at driving.
You know, next time you might want to try using the brake. I'll remember that.
Let's go see the damage.
Oh, my back. Oh, that don't look too good.
It's a busted tie rod.
We're going to be here a while. What is it? That's a rod that makes the wheels go in the same direction. Oh, like a camel parade. It's going to cost a lot of money. Hope you got some monies.
Listen here. You guys wait around here. I'll go talk to the local rednecks. Any of you suckers want anything?
Yeah, you know what? Hey, man. Yo. Give me one of them, whatchamacallit, the candy ball things.
What kind of candy ball?
You know, the whatchamacallit.
What do you mean whatchamacallit?
That's what I'm saying, man. Give me a whatchamacallit, man.
Well, how am I supposed to know what you call it?
Oh, man, forget it. Just give me anything.
You're an idiot, Goober.
I'll take a bag of chips, Uncle Shady. Can I come? I still have to go.
All right, but hurry up, dummy.
Can't believe he doesn't know what a whatchamacallit is.
Now, when we get over there, let me do the talking. I don't want to end up being lynched.
Lynched?
Let's just say, out here, it's like the ghetto, but backwards. Excuse me, Mr. Redneck. Hope I'm not bothering you deliverance folk and all, but I was wondering if someone could take a look at our car. The dummy here hit a pothole the size of Megan Fox's camel toe.
Well, I reckon I can't understand you.
Let me see if I can remember how to speak redneck.
Shady, hurry up, I have to.
Shh, I told you I would do the talking.
But
Zip it, ding dong diggity. Could you please keep it down? I'm trying to communicate here.
I have to go so bad.
Listen here, can you let Pee Wee here use your toilet?
Hey, it's out of order, but he's free to use the bushes.
There you go, dummy. Be a man and pee in the woods.
Okay, thank you very much.
Now, what can I do for you?
Well, we were out, driving around, going to see the bowling. The dollar was talking about it a lot, so I figured let's go see.
Much better.
Maybe we can give it a little Detroit tuck and put some graffiti on it or something. We all fell asleep except for the dummy who was driving.
Get away.
Well, he went the wrong way.
Oh, I don't like bees. Get away, bee. Get away.
Now it looks like we're back with Betty's backyard.
Oh, there's another.
No fence.
Oh, another. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, oh, no. Help. Oh, ow.
I reckon something's wrong with your buddy.
No, he's always that way.
You sure? He looks like he's having one of them there fits.
Well, maybe he's breakdancing.
I bet he disturbed the bee's nest over there. I almost sat on it yesterday when I mistook it for a log.
What do you mean you almost sat on it? How big is that bee's nest?
About yay tall and a couple of feet wide.
Maybe you should spray some bug spray on it.
Can't kill the bees. They're important to the ecosystem.
I don't want to kill them. I just want to mortally wound them. What about a smoke bomb? You can use one of them, can't you? Speaking of smoke, you got any?
Reckon I can't help.
Oh, whatever. Hang on a minute. Listen here. Stop, drop, and roll.
That won't help with bees.
You sure about that? I think I read it somewhere.
I reckon that's for earthquakes.
Oh, right. Well, what are you supposed to do for bees?
Duck and cover.
I always thought that was for drive-by shootings.
That's what my brother says.
You know, I wish they'd come up with one response for everything. I mean, what if you panic? You might do a stop, drop, and roll, when you're supposed to do a duck and cover or hands up don't shoot.
I hear you.
And what are you supposed to do when aliens show up? I don't remember reading about that.
Depends on what kind.
I guess you're right. You don't want to be confusing E.T. with Enrico Torres.
Who's that?
How should I know? Do I look alien to you?
I reckon he could jump in the swamp.
I don't know if that's a good idea. The Donald's already having enough trouble as it is.
No, I mean the gator swamp. Bees don't like water.
That's a good idea. I knew you backwood folks were good for something. Hey, dummy, go jump in the swamp. No, that way. By the way, why do you call it Gator Swamp?
Them there's some big gators swimming in there.
Oh, hang on. Change your plans, dummy. Don't run to the swamp.
What should we do?
Yeah, don't worry about it. They'll get tired of stinging him eventually.
I reckon you're right.
Now, can we get this call fixed? I've got to get back on the road.
Oh, that was an interesting story.
Okay, now I'm ready to play. It's about time. Let's go.
Tune in next time for more Poker Face. We now return you to your regularly scheduled broadcast, already in progress.
You're listening to the John Lebang Show.
It's better than an Islander convention.
Gotta love AJ there. I mean, he's taken a pretty good hit over the last couple of years. And you got to give him credit for wanting to continue on and fight the good fight and all, but just try to stay relevant. Here's AJ showing up at the Virginia protest there in an armored vehicle, doing his classic AJ on the bull speakers and everything. And you know, he's trying to remain relevant, but God love you, AJ, because it's just too funny, bro. You're sitting here trying to get all this attention, and isn't that what AJ's always been? Is a bit of a sensationalist with the bullhorn. He'd be out there screaming, "Rah!" Whatever the complaint of the day was. You got to give him credit, but man, and then the headlines, and you got to you love it because the headline right on AJ's site in InfoWars says Alex Jones storms Virginia in a battle tank to support Second Amendment. It's a little more. It's like an armored vehicle the cops would show up in. I don't know where he got the money for this or where he got it. Maybe it's his. Maybe he borrowed it from someone that he is associated with. But here he shows up, goes all the way across country because the guy's from Austin, Texas. So I would imagine this is local. He didn't just drive this thing, the gas on that. It would have cost a lot of money. Got to sell a lot of those iodine pills or whatever he sells on that website just to take that damn armored vehicle across the country. So kudos to him for still hanging in there and trying to be relevant, but you know, it's almost a desperate attempt at it at this point to show up in an armored vehicle, which he calls on his website a tank, and doesn't look like a tank to me. But, you know, even Drudge picked up the tank angle on it, I guess. That's, you know, he just used the headlines from Alex Jones's website. But it's fun to see this stuff. And when all this just boils down in the end, it was all just a bunch of hype and propaganda from both sides. And I know he's taken a big hit, poor Alex, in the last few years. And I stood up for him when he got booted from the platforms, and I was worried I was going to get booted. They handle me a little easier than they do Alex, and they just shadow ban me because, and you know, no one's going to search John Lebang as much as they're going to search Alex Jones. So you have to just knock Alex off the platform. They'll just find a way to skip over me. Nobody's just going to directly search for a guy like me. But what happened at the big rally? Lots of live footage for everybody to watch to see. Nothing really happened in the end. Why is it so easy? I mean, I even got caught up there, and I'm not so taken in by the normal media and alternative media talking points anymore. I've been fooled many times in my day, and I don't allow that to happen anymore. Yet even I was very curious about what was going on in Virginia. I even did the last segment on that. But in the end, it was, just a bunch of propaganda to get everybody fired up, to get the two sides. Maybe they'll clash, maybe they won't. But it doesn't matter. We get to see the two sides of the argument. And if something tragic would have happened, they would have blamed the people on the right side of the aisle. It would have never been the Antifas and the other mechanisms from the left side of the aisle there. But why do we fall for this every time? Either the mainstream media pushes one form of propaganda, and then you have the alters, the alt medias, that grab onto the less popular concepts and run with them. And when the two, collide a little bit or cross streams, we get an event like we did in Virginia, where both sides hyped up that something might happen, something big might go down. And in the end, it was just a bunch of people complaining and politicians not listening. So it was more hype than bite. More propaganda that got us all glued to whatever form of media we so choose. And it doesn't matter that nothing happened, because we'll do it again next time. When there's more to get you hyped up about, because they're stealing your rights, or they're trying to steal their rights. We're supposed to think this stuff through, and we just all get caught up in, oh no, they're going to do this, or oh no, they're going to do that. And both sides play on those feelings. Both sides play on your emotions there to get you fired up, to get you to watch their YouTube channel, or in the mainstream media's world, to get you to watch their channels over there. Because everybody is vying for your attention. Because that brings in ad dollars. That brings in sales. And you don't think Alex Jones showing up in an armored truck, blowing his blowhorn away, whatever he's saying today, that a whole bunch of people are going to go, wow, that's Alex Jones. He's here to fight with us, yeah! And then people will go to his site in the next few weeks and buy some of them products. The funny thing is, I'm not against selling products or making money for doing your thing. But when it's all based around hype and there was nothing either side was really going to do today. Now that's a good thing. It's a good thing. Cooler heads prevailed. Shouldn't we have faith that this stuff won't turn into something violent? I mean, we have to worry that there are agent provocateurs out there. There's been many occasions that has been true. Maybe this was all just a bunch of hype to get everybody focused on that now. Get your attention here. I mean, they bounce us around. It's like the latest Star Wars movie. They hit us with so much that you can't stop and think about any of this stuff, because you're hit with just something else and something else and something else. And one has to think, if all this has been the focus, what else has been going on that nobody's been focusing on, or very few people? Guess what I'm saying is, next time we have a situation like we did in Virginia, maybe we should just see what happens before we get all hyped up about it. Maybe we should sit back and watch how things unfold before we get too worked up about what might or might not happen and what kind of things might transpire at such an event. Yeah. And when guys like Alex Jones, bless his heart, and others like him, go there, they're doing it to keep themselves relevant, not because they're really trying to support the cause. Alex is looking to make money because it costs a lot of money to run InfoWars. So I don't blame him there, but man, when you're talking about propaganda, I think all of us were had when it comes to Virginia. And whatever comes from this, like I said in the last video, protests never change what the politicians do. So they're going to move ahead, if they were ever going to move ahead and take those guns away. See, it's all going to turn out how it's supposed to turn out. Maybe they just did this to see if they could get the right to start something. See what I'm saying? Hype, propaganda, Smith Mundit, that's been gone for some years now. They're allowed to use propaganda. Anybody is allowed, even the government, is allowed to use propaganda on the American people and the world, but in particular, it's us. Man, more and more, day after day, week after week, year after year, we are barraged with propaganda. Unending propaganda from all sides. And none of us know the truth or which way to turn anymore. And maybe that was the point.
Don't move a muscle.
The John Lebang Show will be right back.
With lots of fun and excitement. Yes!
Jim's Tuxedo and Menswear is your one-stop shop for tuxedos and men's quality suits. We go the extra mile to make sure your tux or suit is the perfect fit. Our huge selection is second to none in the state.
Looking good.
Outstanding customer service.
And we're located on Dix Toledo in Southgate. Call today, 734-285-3253.
Jim's Tuxedo and Menswear is the place to be.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming to Jim's Tuxedos and Menswear.
You know I had to come to the best.
That's right.
Hey, man, it's at the bottom of the hour, man. Do you know where your kids are, man?
If you want to contact the John Lebang Show, feel free to send an email to jlebang@live.com. And if you're on Twitter, look him up at John Lebang. And don't forget to go to his Facebook page at The John Lebang Show. Banger. Now here's John.
Before we go on, just give you a little insights. If you can tell, I'm not feeling so great. Coming back from vacation, I got a little sick. Probably worked myself too hard these last few weeks, prepping for those music awards. And, well, now the voice isn't there, so please bear with me. You're going to have to bear with me anyways because, wow, what a day. The banger did you guys a favor, or did the work that I knew most of you weren't going to do. But that's okay, that's what I do. I listened to the entire first day of the trial of Donald Trump to impeach him. And my God, was it absolutely boring and useless. In fact, if you ask me, it was the most useless and boring day maybe in American history. Maybe in American history. First day of a trial, and we have the Democrat Party What do they want to do? Well, they want more witnesses. So throughout the day, even though Mitch McConnell told them, if we're going to have witnesses, it's going to be at the end, not at the beginning. We're going to let you give us your case because you're supposed to have such a infallible case against the president. You already did the articles of impeachment, and you sent, after holding them for 30 plus days, they had to get through Christmas. So you held these documents back. You did your big old case there with all the TV coverage and everything back in November, back in October. And now you want more witnesses. And Mitch McConnell, the leader of the Senate, he's like, no, we're going to do it kind of like we did the Clinton impeachment. So they do that. They set things up to go today, and wow, was it a mess. Hours upon hours of Adam Schiff and his cohorts introducing amendments. Schumer, because Schumer is the head of the Democrats in the Senate. So Schumer continually, every 2 hours, would offer up a new amendment asking for more witnesses, and they would continue to get shot down because the Senate has enough votes to vote against anything the Democrats do. Very similar to what went on in the House, except it was reversed. And the Democrats, who didn't give the president any leeway, any representation in those hearings in the halls of the bowels of the House there. I mean, they used to go in the back room, or they would go in the basement there. And we still don't know what was on the skiff. We're probably never going to hear it. But Schiff, Schumer, all them Democrats who have such an infallible case against the president need more witnesses because their case can't stand as it is. You wouldn't need more witnesses if you had a strong case already. And yet this is where they're dragging the American people. So we got to sit through, most of you didn't, by the way. If you look at the numbers, most people in America could give a crap. They were more worried about their Disney Plus or their Netflix. Maybe there was a game on. They didn't care about the impeachment. Most people. The hard lefters and the hard righters do care. But the average American didn't listen. They didn't want to listen. To them, it's a bunch of noise. And I have to agree with the American people. It was just a bunch of noise. So after hours and hours and hours of Democrats adding amendments to the rules that Mitch McConnell, before the amendments were argued about, McConnell said, we're going to table these. So you can argue about it all you want, but they're being tabled until the end, in case we need them. The entire impeachment, in fact, the argument from the Democrats is that Trump did not give money on time, although it made it by the deadline. But regardless of that, he didn't give money to a foreign government. They're claiming, of course, that it's about taking out Joe Biden, investigating Joe Biden. Why are they worried about investigating Joe Biden? Is it because he's their lead candidate for president? Well, I'd be worried about that, sure, if I'm the Democrats, especially when Biden And they were playing all these videos all day. Gotta love them Democrats. They had all these videos ready to go. I was watching on the Fox News feed for all transparency there. Of course, the president's people didn't have a whole lot of charts and a whole lot of things that were flashed up on the screen. So now you got to worry, what the hell's Fox doing, posting these things and not just showing us the people debating. But whatever. So we have all these amendments all day. McConnell tells them it's not going to go through, and if we need witnesses for whatever reason, we're saving it to the end. We're saving it till after the opening arguments. That's pretty normal in a trial, ladies and gentlemen. See, I've been a juror. I don't know how many of you have been jurors out there, but I've been a juror. You sit there, you wait. You let the teams do their thing, and you just sit there and wait, just like the American people are just sitting here watching and waiting for our turn in all this. And you wait, and then deals are made, and this is happening, and all these other things happen, and sometimes you don't even get to the trial because some kind of deal is made. It's not going to happen that way here in the Senate. But it's not going all that different from when I was a juror at trials. But what the big thing is, the Democrats are mad. They say the president did something illegal. If withholding money from a foreign country is illegal, there's a problem inside the government. Because I'm fine with any president withholding money from foreign countries for whatever reason. Because that's our money. That's the taxpayers' money. Why the heck is money going to the Ukraine when we could use the money here? But to the Democrats, who I believe are mad because that money that was withheld for a little while probably didn't make it to their pockets. That, of course, is speculation. And please forgive me. I'm not feeling well, as you can tell. My voice is trashed. But that's the argument here. And anybody who's on the Democratic side, are you kidding me? You want the president impeached over a phone call that someone claims was a quid pro quo. Yet they got money released and nothing happened in return for the money. And that's an impeachable offense, even though they don't have enough evidence because they want more witnesses to gather more evidence. Sounds like a fishing expedition to me. They're looking for something, and isn't that typical of government and government officials? Even the police and the FBI will raid your house because they don't have sufficient evidence to bust you. So they make up, just like this, they made up a warrant based on a faulty dossier. Just like the government. They'll make up a reason to search your records. Because they don't have enough evidence. So they have to go and find evidence. Well, that's not how it's supposed to work. The government is supposed to provide a case filled with evidence beforehand. Evidence that is easily obtained. Not something they have to go fishing for. Not something they have to create. Not something they have to find because they didn't have it originally. No, they have to, that's as far as I know when I grew up, and that's when we were learning about government, that's the job. They need overwhelming evidence to do anything like that. But on the other hand, the shady Republicans, well, you can't trust them either. Because this could all be a sham, because a lot of the Republicans are also part of that deep state. Mitt Romney, a couple other ones are right there. And don't think this is going to go. Don't think justice will be served and the president will be easily acquitted with all this. Because I don't know. You can't trust those people in government. But when you can put forth a case, and the lawyer for the president said it best, you can't go to a regular trial. If I'm being tried for something, I can't go, or if I'm charging somebody, I can't go to the trial and go, today's the first day of the trial. We're not ready. We're not ready. We don't have the evidence to try this person. That's what happened yesterday. And Mitch McConnell, who's 100% right in this, saying, if we're going to hear the witness, we'll hear them after the opening statements. After you present a case. Because you were supposed to put together a case in the House. That's what these articles of impeachment are. So all of you who are hard left Democrats who want the president impeached, do you really want him impeached for fake reasons? For made up reasons? Is that where you want to take the country? We've got to take a break, folks. We'll talk more about this in the final segment. Stay tuned as more is coming your way. Smoke them if you got them.
Because the John Lebang Show will be right back
after this. That's guaranteed. Yes. Absolute Skin and Body Care, located in Livonia, Michigan. If you're in need of laser hair removal, skin care, laser tattoo removal, or laser hair regrowth, call Absolute Skin and Body Care. They're located at 37625 Ann Arbor Road, Suite 105 in Livonia, Michigan. Their phone number is 248-533-0448. Absolute Skin and Body Care. Give them a call. You're listening to the John Lebang Show. It's huge. Now I got to tweet about it.
With so much going on, it's hard to keep track of everything. I mean, I think it was like 11 hours yesterday. Give or take. I had to turn it off here and there because I just couldn't handle it. The brain gets so filled up with nonsense. And that's what this entire impeachment is about. It's nonsense. It's to steal the next election as well as the last one. So what happens from here on out? Well, we're going to get more arguments today. More arguments tomorrow. More arguments on Friday. There's 24 hours of opening debate, pretty much, on where they go from here. And we have to live through all this. The waste of time and the money and the hours that are spent on doing this. And trust me, the Democrats don't care. They don't care about your money. They don't care that they're wasting your time because they have an agenda. And their agenda is to remove Donald Trump from the presidency. Hey, half of us didn't like Obama. We tolerated it. We didn't try to impeach him, and there were a few things that were quite impeachable from my point of view. I'm no constitutional scholar. I know my stuff, but I'm not an expert, or no one would consider me an expert. In fact, nobody considers me an expert in anything, even though that's fine. I don't care. I'm an American. And when I see stuff like this, when I see that the Democrat Party is all up in arms over a president who withheld money for a little bit to a foreign counterpart. They claim that he was doing something in the political realm against a political opponent. There is another possibility. Maybe he was trying to get to the heart of corruption. Ukraine in itself is one of the worst corrupt countries on the face of the earth. So we have a corrupt country. The president, who has talked about this, and this is one of the things I liked about Donald Trump when he was running for president. Not only did he say get us out of foreign wars, which we'll see if that happens, but he was against just giving countries money. This isn't something that he's just doing on a whim. This is part of who he was, or who he portrayed himself to be during the election. The guy doesn't like foreign aid. I don't like foreign aid. If it's illegal to withhold money to foreign countries, that's got to change as well. That shouldn't be illegal. In fact, that should be encouraged. Our money, the taxpayers' money, my money, your money, is being argued over right now. How your money is being spent. And the Democrats think it's okay to just hand out money to anybody, and they better hand it out on time. And to me, that tells me, especially with the Biden audio. Take a listen.
I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting $1 billion. I said, you're not getting $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here, and I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a
Is it possible? This is just me thinking. Is it possible the Democrats are mad because they didn't get their cut of that money? Because it was withheld. Right? It's supposed to be military. Are we really just going to send them weapons and that was it? There was no cash involved? There's no money involved? You sure about that, folks? You see, don't listen to what the Democrats say. Don't listen to what the Republicans say. Go read the documents. Go read what's supposed to go. And why are we involving in Ukraine at all? What purpose they hold back the Russians? They'd have you believe, Adam Schiff and the Democrats would have you believe that there's all-out war going on in the Ukraine right now. Have you checked the headlines? Is that really happening? Have you checked that, or do you just believe what's going on or what's being told by these charlatans? These proven liars. Schiff all day yesterday was making up stuff all day on the Senate floor. And the president's counsel would have his few moments to rebut that stuff. But it's amazing. And we really need to make some kind of law. We need to demand some kind of change in government when it comes to impeachment. And I don't mean down the road. I mean right now, ladies and gentlemen. If somebody brings up articles of impeachment on a person and they're acquitted, or it's a bunch of falsehoods or a bunch of lies and you can prove it, I think those people, the Adam Schiffs, the Nancy Pelosi's, everybody who put this country through all this for political purposes should face some criminal jail time. That's just me. If they're going to drag the country through this mess and they still don't have the evidence to convict the president and they want the Senate to do the work, and those of you who don't understand Constitution or the Constitution very well, it's the House's job to put together the case completely before they send it to the Senate. And it's the Senate's job to try the case. They're the judge. They're the jury. They're not the lawyers. They are not the counsel for either side of the argument. You have the House managers, which are the counsel for the prosecution, and you have the Trump's lawyers that are in charge of the defense. Those are the two groups of people. The Senate, they're the jury. And before you bring witnesses into a courtroom, the cases have to be presented. And if the case is faulty from the get-go, then why do you need to bring in witnesses? You throw it out. See, I'd like it all thrown out. But again, I'd like something to change in the government so you can't just let this happen in the future. Because now, going forward, all you have to do is own the House, and you can draw up whatever you want to impeach the president. Obstruction of Congress. What does that mean? What does that mean, especially since the president wasn't allowed representation during the House hearings? So what does that mean? How can you obstruct something when you weren't even allowed to be there? You see? But we have to deal with it. And it's unfortunate that we're being thrown in the middle of this political BS when we have plenty of things to do in this country and plenty of problems to solve. While all this is happening, at least the president's doing something positive. He's signing trade deals with other countries. He's, amazingly enough, been able to focus on his job while all this other stuff is going on. That's amazing. See, I don't know if I could do that. It would always be back in the back of my mind, haunting me. What the all I'm trying to do is a good job here, and you got all these people trying to take me out. If we go by the government numbers, we got the strongest economy, lowest unemployment. We're standing up to our enemies for once. I mean, what exactly has Trump done wrong? And I'm not telling you what you don't like about him. I'm actually saying, what has he done wrong? Now, I can tell you a few things he's done wrong, but it's nothing that the people on the left would consider wrong. And that's Obamacare still there. The tax cuts for the middle class and the average American wasn't there, or at least it's very small. But for Pete's sakes, withholding money from Ukraine or any other country shouldn't be a crime. It shouldn't be a crime. It shouldn't be the reason a president is impeached. But nobody's talking about that. Anyways, folks, blew by extremely quick this first show back. I want to thank you all for joining me. Don't forget, you can find all the stuff I'm talking about on the website. Maybe some other things you need to maybe peruse. It's there right there, www.jlebang.com. I want to thank all the affiliate stations for carrying the John Lebang Show. And, of course, you, the listener, for tuning in. Thank you so much. And until the vibrations of my vocal cords reach your ears again, and hopefully next time I won't be dying of death illness 2020. This is John Lebang, signing off for now from the Banger Studios.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff. Tune in again next week. Same time, same space,